Hello, I'm Peggy O'Neill. Welcome to today's live session, How to Have a Uniting Conversation. I'm the founder of Answering the Call, a Facebook group where we answer the call, that longing, something's missing in my life. There's just something I know I'm here to do, or I want to fully express who I am and I don't feel free to live as who I truly am. So we answer that call, and then usually as we know who we are, we experience more freedom in living that way. Then we also want to know, and how do I want to uniquely express this? And so we also attend to that in this group and the other work that I do and do with people in the group. So welcome to today's session. And if you're here live, please say hi in the chat or in the comments, and ask questions. And if you're watching this on replay, please put hashtag replay in the comments. Ask questions. I will come back and answer them. Or comment. Love hearing from you. All right, so how to have a uniting conversation. We're going to explore 3 cardinal rules for every conversation. What to focus on to experience unity, and then what to do if the conversation stalls or begins to feel uncomfortable. So the first cardinal rule, people don't like to hear this, but don't have a conversation trying to unite, you're trying to experience unity with somebody else if you know they're not open. There's just no way if they're not open. Now, we can come back to that when we talk about what to do if the conversation stalls or begins to feel uncomfortable. But I'll just go ahead and tie it in now so you can listen throughout. So if somebody's not open, they're not open. And it could mean that your relationship is not at a level of topic or intimacy or connection that somebody feels comfortable. Also, lots of times we're not open to something because we're defensive about it. We don't want to be wrong. I mean, people die to be wrong. Look at any war. So we die to be wrong. To be right. We don't want to be wrong. And so when somebody's not open, they're just not open. And it's a waste of time. It's going to damage the relationship. And so just don't do it. That's all. All right, and then the first cardinal rule bonus, as I was reviewing this, preparing today, I had another thought about this that also most people don't like. Sorry about this. But don't ever have a conversation trying to unite with somebody or a challenging conversation with anybody by text, email, or voicemail. Don't do it. Now, why not? Because if we're feeling like, I want to feel connected to this person, uniting with this person, you can already maybe hear this. If I want to feel connected with asynchronous communication, which email, text, voicemail is, there's not a connection. And and if there's any conversation that has a possibility of being emotional for one of the parties, also don't do it by email, text, or voicemail. I mean, it's just, I know people don't like it, but it'd be like saying, I don't like gravity, so I'm not going to pay attention to gravity. Well, okay. So, all right, so you'll do what you do with those, but that's just bottom line, forget about it. Okay, so now the second cardinal rule is don't begin with thinking that I want to try to change their mind. Now, even if it's work related, because maybe you're working with somebody on a team, or maybe they're what a lot of people call a direct report, and you feel like you need to change their mind. So we don't want to start from that way of being, because think about it. If somebody's coming to you and you can sense that they're trying to change your mind, they're trying to box you into this situation, what do? We get defensive, we dig our heels in, we quit listening, we get ready for our counter conversation. So what do you do though? Let's say you really are on a team, or Maybe there's a family member, and they're, you can feel some sort of openness. Remember cardinal rule number one: if they're not open, they're not open. So what do you? So I'll see. I'm trying to think what I need to talk about work related too. So, but let's say it's not work related right now. So you really want to step back and ask yourself, okay, why do I really want to try to change this person's mind? So if you're just trying to be right or convince them of something, again, don't do it. But now if you can step back and think, or maybe it's has something to do with their health or your health or a vacation you want to take, and so it's not a huge topic, and you want to try to change their mind, then you realize that, oh, I'm trying to change their mind. They want to go to Las Vegas, and I want to go to New York City. So you step back and go, okay, so what's really the most important thing here? Well, it's really the relationship. I want to keep the relationship intact. Okay. And then what would be the feeling quality of a conversation that keeps the relationship intact but starts to explore another possibility? So that's how you want to approach that. You want to start with an open heart. If you need to take a walk around the block, meditate a little bit, talk to yourself a little bit, listen to some wonderful music, so that you can feel that experience of okay, I started out wanting to change their mind. I know that's not going to work. So what's another um, get myself into a different mood, a different experience, to start having a conversation that where we can explore. I can be curious. It can be an exploratory conversation. Now, let's say it's work related, and let's say there are sales goals, and you really need different sales goals. They want to sell $50,000 worth of widgets, and you want them to sell 100,000. So similarly, you don't want to be trying to push them into a corner, because guess what? They'll finally say yes. People are smart enough to say, okay, okay. Then they won't do it. Why? Because you were forced into it. They were forced into it, and they didn't feel like they had a say, and somehow they don't think they can do it. I mean, they're telling you that. They don't think they can do it, so it's not going to turn out. So, so what you can do is the same sort of thing. Get yourself in more of a relaxed mood, relaxed way of thinking, and to think, what is it that matters to them? And you can do this with the family member or other situation too. Okay, what is it that matters to them? Maybe the person wants to keep their job. Maybe the person, wants a bonus that year, and let them know that you're trying to be on the same page with them. You want to help them meet their bonus. That you want to, and you can't be in a threatening mode, but you can say, really, everybody on the team is being required to sell $100,000 this year. So, I want you on this team, and I want you to win here. So we've got to have a conversation that can help us explore how to help you get to the place where you can say, I'll do $100,000 worth of sales. So what's missing? So again, it's curiosity, it's back and forth, it's opening your heart and really caring about the person. And that'll take you a really long way. Okay, and then the third cardinal rule is something I alluded to a few minutes ago, is make sure the level of relationship matches the level of conversation. So if you've always had kind of a superficial relationship, and now you want to talk about something deep and meaningful, then the level of relationship doesn't match the level of the conversation. Something that's kind of funny, it seems counterintuitive, but in all conversations, and this is really counterintuitive in the workplace, that to have a relationship that where it can be a strong relationship in a challenging time, you actually have to have the superficial conversations along the way that build relationships. So think about what builds relationship. How are you doing? How was your weekend? How are the kids? You got to mean it sincerely and ask. But if we don't have the level of relationship of care, I know something about you, you're a human being to me, then you can't get to the deeper conversations. In other words, people won't be there for you when you really need them to be. And you won't be able to have, depending on the relationship, conversations that are, the meaning of life. If all you've ever done is say hi to people in the hall, or hi to your next door neighbor, that takes some building of time. Takes some time. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. I mean, it could actually take 30 minutes. I know I've had met people, and within 30 minutes, we're talking about what really matters to us. But we've been open. We're curious. We're being with each other in a way that it naturally leads to that. So, 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 so the 3 cardinal rules with a bonus is that don't have a conversation where you're trying to come together if you know they're not open. And the bonus is don't do it asynchronously. So email, voicemail, texting out. And second cardinal rule: don't begin to try to change their mind. If you're trying to change their mind, you've got to shift your perspective to get to curiosity, openness, something else. And then third, make sure the level of relationship matches the level of the conversation you want to have. And you can just ask yourself, what have we ever talked about before? What have we, how close do I feel to this person? How distant do I feel? So you can ask yourself some questions to get that figured out. All right, now what to focus on to experience unity. So to experience unity, so you want a unifying conversation. Could be in the workplace, could be in family, could be in a community. So to focus on it, what I've emphasized several times already is, what's your experience? Are you feeling like you want to connect with this person? Are you feeling distant from this person? Are you feeling open? Are you feeling receptive? So you can think through, how would I feel connected, or that I am in unity with somebody else? And then you talk to yourself, you read a chapter in a book, do something that helps you get into that experience. Over time, if you've been working with this sort of thing for a long time, we can just notice, oh, I'm in kind of a hurried, get through this mood. That's not going to work right now. So we can just check in with what we're feeling and then shift it. So it depends. So if you haven't practiced that much before, then do something to help you get into the experience that you think a unifying conversation would be, and then be curious. That's what to focus on. So you're asking questions, not rapid fire questions, but from a real curious place. Okay, I'm thinking I want to feel more connected, more like we're unified in this. So I want to be curious with them about what matters to them, about what they want to accomplish, about what they're thinking about, depending on the subject matter, and start looking for what you have in common, and then you can point that out. Oh, I was thinking that too. I was thinking that this is important, and so on. So you connect, continue to stay in your experience of connection, and that can help you create a unifying conversation where you feel unity with the other person. Now, what to do if the conversation stalls? So let's say it seems to be moving along fine. You're feeling that unity that you were wanting to feel, and then all of a sudden defenses go up somewhere, with you or with them. So that happens all the time. So it's not a problem really. It's not something to stop the conversation, but it's to notice, oh, okay, we've gotten out of sync here. We're not really unified anymore. We're out of sync. So you can gently bring that up. Oh, I've noticed, I'm starting to feel a little uncomfortable here. It feels like we're not quite talking the way that we were a few minutes ago. Does it seem that way to you too? And then you can check in with the relationship. Is there something we need to come back to? Is our relationship okay? Do we need to talk about that to move forward? So as you can hear, all this is very nuanced, and it just takes practice. You can't have a checklist. It just takes practice, and the practice is being curious, paying attention to feelings, what's happening over there, and then shifting to pay attention to the relationship, the conversation, and being open-hearted with the other person. So I think that's it. Let me see if we have any questions. No questions. Okay. So, so just a quick review, 3 cardinal rules. I did already done that twice. What to focus on to experience unity. Pay attention to, or what's your experience? What are you feeling? Because if you're feeling disconnected, in a hurry, trying to get somebody to do something, that's not connection. So you want to open your heart, or if that phraseology doesn't work for you, relax, be open, be ready to listen, be curious, and then just notice if you're feeling connected and how the conversation is going it with that way. And then if it starts to feel uncomfortable, then you can come back and address that. You can say, are we okay? It feels like something, we're getting off course here. And you just have to be curious, be humble, that's happened to me in many a coaching conversation over the years, where I can tell, we've gotten, either I've become too directive or overbearing, or maybe they're embarrassed that they didn't do something, or they're worried what I'm going to think or something. So I pay attention to when things are off, so to speak, and then I just ask them. I said, we seem to be out of sync, or I probably don't use that word very often, even though I've used it a lot today. I would say something like, seems like we're not on the same page, or it seems like maybe something's off right now. That's probably what I say. Something's off between us right now. And so you can hear, I don't have a script. I'm just engaged with the principles that we're using today. And so just practice with the people you're closest to, and this gets very much easier over time. I'm not saying that discomfort doesn't happen regularly, but it gets easier to have this sort of conversation over time. All right, so I'm going to now stop that, and I'm going to move into, I've got a fabulous workshop next week on Tuesday, July the 23rd, and it's not directly related to this, but pretty closely related to this, because the focus of this workshop is on what keeps us from having what we truly want. And so and this could be one thing. I want a closer relationship with this person. I want to be able to have challenging conversations. I want to be able to create unity, connection in a conversation, but somehow those things don't work so well for me. So this is a great workshop for having conversations, moving through conversations, as well as other things. If you feel stuck in your career, stuck in being a leader, you're thinking, I don't really want to be doing this for the next 20 or 30 years, or if you are making money. So it's all about what gets in our way of letting ourselves fully and freely create the life that we truly want to. So I hope you'll join us. It's July 23rd. It's from 11 to 12:30 Central. It's experiential, and it's just it's good. I've worked on putting all this together and revising it for years and years and years, and with everything I've learned in the last 5 years around the essential nature of reality, and our essential nature, it's really turned into, it's a really nice program. So I hope you'll join us, and if you want to join us, just put in the messages that you want to attend, and I will send you a Zoom link. I'd love to see you there. If you have any questions, also send me a message or put something in the comments, and I will address them. Okay, so the reason many of us don't have the lives that we want is because we're trying to unlock ourselves with the wrong keys. So you find out the keys to unlocking yourself to live the life you really want next week. Okay, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.